Now, welcome to As the Key Turns. A brief description of what you're seeing here. These things here are called punts, or they were, and behind me here is what used to be a sugar plantation way back when. And what they used to do is thousands of sugarcane cutters used to come here, and they would cut sugarcane and put it into these things called punts, and then run them up and down these drainage ditches that are here. So that ought to explain the background here. And people always say that these are green screens or something like that. I hope that demonstrates it's not a green screen. I'm really here in this little tropical village, and what you see behind us here is abject poverty. Let me see if you can see the rest of this street here. So, that's what it's like to live here. So if you make a small retirement like I do, then you can come to a place like this and you're practically king. So that's one of the reasons that I retired to this place. And what I wanted to talk to you all about today was John Gotti gay? People asked me that before. You know, like when he was in prison, did he do gay things? And for those of you that don't remember, John Gotti was a guy from the 1980s, or at least he was famous in the 1980s, and he was called the Teflon Don, and he evaded conviction several times in New York. And matter of fact, he was so famous in the New York area that when I went there, I don't know, not long ago, 10 years ago, I saw a guy painting his picture on the sidewalk. You know, one of them portrait guys that are in Manhattan, and they stand on the side of the street there and they try to sell you paintings or whatever, and this guy was painting John Gotti's picture from memory. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I thought about telling the guy, hey man, I knew that fella, but I said, nah, I'll just keep that to myself. He probably hears all kinds of kooks talk all kinds of kooky things anyway, so why add to it? Anyway, that was the question. And before I answer it, I would like to thank you, the subscriber to my channel. If it wasn't for you, this channel wouldn't exist. So thank you very much. And for those of you that are at the $10 and above level, after 3 months, you know, you get as Dr. Marla Patterson's book, As I Live and Breathe, which is about USP Marion. And I just seen a posting that she was recommended by one of our former wardens, and I thought, wow, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed her book too. So if you don't want to subscribe at the $10 above level for 3 months, then by all means, you know, purchase the thing at Amazon. You can get it for like $6.99 in the Kindle version, which is the way I send it to you. Or you could get it on hardback versions, like $14-15 or something. Or places where good books are sold, I guess is how they say it. Anyway, back to John Gotti. You know, in prison, I've heard some of the inmates say, well, no, it doesn't really count. You're not really gay if you have sex with another man here in prison, so it doesn't really count. So I'll disregard that definition of homosexual activity and say, yes, it does count. Okay, so don't think that if I, or what I'm talking about is going to fall into any category like that. So we've had like the guys that you worry about in prison. We had a fellow named Beauty Graham, and Beauty Graham was in the same cell house as John Gotti, by the way. And he was like a super aggressive homosexual who I tried to catch his dick in the bars one day. You know what he does is he finds this fellow that he can have sex with, and he bellies up to the bar, and he pulls his pants partly down so that I, who was looking down the range and observe him, all I see is him like bellied up to the bar with his hands at the top, you know, looking like he's just talking to somebody, but that's not what's really going on. The guy inside is giving him oral sex or something. So I very quietly tried to hit well, there's an actuator bar at the front of the range where I'm at, inside the lock box, and you take this little thing and you click it down, and normally when you click it down it makes a big loud noise, but I tried to do it very quietly and just have it just barely fall over. It's a little pin that fits into a slot, and it's what allows the door to come open. And then I was going to slam the door open and try to catch this guy's dick in the door and let him explain that, you know, to the medical services as to how he got that injury. But the guy heard the thing and he pulled back, and you know, he came up there and said, you know, if you keep doing stuff like that, you're going to see something you didn't want to see. Yeah, whatever. So according to that guy, he wasn't gay, but you know, like, he tried to have sex daily with other men. So no, he wasn't gay at all. Yeah, right. Anyway, my friend that I was working with, he was the number one in the unit for quite some time. And I seen one of the guy that was in the cell for Beauty Graham. I seen that guy down there talking to Gotti, and I said something about it, you know, like, hey, he's talking to the notorious gay man down there, and he said, oh yeah, he's probably gay too. He's probably doing the same stuff for him as he does for Beauty Graham, and you know, and he went on and on. And I never thought to say, did you see that? You know, what evidence do you have? You know, we didn't discuss it further because I never thought I was going to do this videos. I never thought I would write this book. I never thought of any of those things. So, like, I didn't keep the notes that I should have, you know, if I would have known that this was going to occur. So, I never followed up on that one guy's comment. And, you know, people were commenting things like that all the time about everybody. I personally never saw any indication that Gotti was engaged in homosexual activity with anybody there at all. So the only indication that I ever had was this one guy made this one comment one time, and I never followed up on it. I never asked any questions. So out of 2 out of 10, you know, that's about what I'd expect that the odds were. 2 out of 10. So not very likely at all. I don't believe that he was engaged in that kind of activity the whole time that he was there that I am aware of. Now, you have to realize I was only there, you know, 40 hours a week, and he's there 24 hours a day, that kind of thing. And he is on the same range with people like Beauty Graham and this other guy. This other guy was engaged in so much anal sex that he took a plastic cup and he cut the handle off of it, and this thing is about this big around, and he would use it as a butt plug all the time to keep poop from just falling out of the guy. I mean, that's how bad it was. And one time we went down and we were shaking down cells, and one of the brand new guys picked up this cup, and I said, oh my God, don't touch that thing. And it was too late. He picked it up and he was looking at it, and then he smelled it. And I'm like, does it smell like shit? Because you know where that thing has been? Do you know what's going on with it? And when I finally explained it to him, he just like dropped the cup and went, ooh, you know, and went and washed his hands because he touched it with his bare hands. And I'm like, man, you really need to use gloves in all these searches, because there's stuff like that everywhere in this prison. And, you know, do you really want to be putting your hand in this stuff? So that's the low underside belly of the prison, the thing that I probably avoided talking about until now. And I'm only doing it for you that are on Patreon because, I don't know, it's a question that comes up all the time. I find it distasteful, and I guess it's just something that ought to be said, but it's nothing that I really want to talk about all the time, so I'll just leave it on this Patreon account. It'll be exclusive to you guys, so I won't go into the, please donate things. Now, I will remind everybody that if you do donate at the, the $10 and above level, that soon, like next month, you'll start getting a chapter a month of my book. Now, it won't be the final absolute, this is the chapter that's going to be in the book. It may be deleted for whatever reason. It may be rewritten for whatever reason after that. This will be like the third or fourth draft of this book, and it'll be before the professional editing and the collection to actually bring it into a book. So you may get something that the people who buy the final product won't get. So that would be as a thank you. And then as the book gets completed, probably a year or two, I'll delete all of that so that you'd only have the final finished product. So for those of you that are at the $10 and above level, you're going to get to see something that nobody else is going to get to see, because I'm not going to post it anywhere else. That's the only place. So if that's something that interests you, then starting next month you're going to want to be in the $10 and above level so that you can see those documents. And of course, after 3 months, you get the Dr. Marla Patterson's book, As I Live and Breathe, which I highly recommend. And if you don't want to be at the $10 and above level for 3 months to get it, then by all means, purchase it. It's that excellent of a book. Now, her book and mine will be different in that we have different jobs and different perspectives, but it was the same prison, and there was a little bit of overlap in it. I did notice that some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about she had spoken of, but she brought it from her perspective. So it is a different book. And thank you very much for watching. And yeah, this is the really place. This is where I live. I had to come down here because my neighbors are blasting music, which they do quite often. Here, I've noticed it in the very poor sections of the world. Like in the Army, a lot of the people that join the Army and at the enlisted level are from poorer backgrounds, I've noticed, and they have this habit of blasting music. Because I asked a few of them, I was in the military police, why do you do that? And they said, well, I want everyone to enjoy my music. Yeah, but your music sucks. Like here, I have to hear a bunch of Hindu songs, and I'm really not into Hindu songs. And you should hear the Christmas music here. It's like me pretending to be a real singer and singing, White Christmas or something. And White Christmas here in the tropics just seems humorous. So these people here just blast music all the time. They have no consideration for anybody. So I had to come way the hell out here to the very edge of the residential areas and make this video. And so I hope you enjoyed a nice look at poverty. Let me give you one last look before I sign off here. Here's the street, and then here's these folks back here, if you can see them, are fishing. They're fishing in this big ditch, and this is the ditch that they would run that thing that's in front of me, or behind me, right behind me there. It's called a punt, and they'd fill that with sugar cane. But now it's all gone. I mean, the socialists here have nationalized everything and ruined it. So that was kind of the end of that.